Hello, and welcome to Soul Aligned CEO Podcast, the show that shares the journeys of entrepreneurs from all around the world who have started businesses and they are doing it soul aligned. I'm your host, Jenny Morey, and on today's episode, I am so excited to welcome Natalie Taylor. Natalie is the CEO of Natalie Taylor Energy Healing. Welcome, Natalie.
Thanks, Jenny. Thanks for having me and thanks for that wonderful introduction.
Of course. So, I was hoping that you would let the audience know a little bit more about your business and what you offer.
Sure. So I do energy healing and I am qualified. I'm a Zoe practitioner method qualified. And basically, what Zoe method is, it's Eastern philosophy energy healing, which is, I'm not sure if you know much about that. It's to do with our energy systems and the chi, the life force. And I've basically been trained in different techniques to help make sure the life force energy is running through you at 100%. And I've also been trained in how to identify some main energetic blockages, stresses, which often show up in emotional blockages and pain or difficult relationships and things like that. So what I offer they're called unstuck energy healing sessions. And that is basically a 45-minute energy healing session where I go through energy healing techniques. It would start off with me bringing awareness to what is causing the main issue, which is often not what people think. And then we'll basically together with the person that I'm healing, I'll do the energy healing, just like a physio would help you release, tight muscles and things like that. And I also offer pet energy healing sessions, which is kind of the same principles. Pets get stressed for many reasons, environment, owners, things like that, and help them to release the stress too.
Wow, that is all so awesome. I'm excited to dive
Thanks.
in and share more about it all. So, what we are going to talk about in today's episode is Natalie's journey. So, we're going to discuss how she went from a real long career in personal training and nutrition and switched to doing energy work, and how her own experience with back pain led her to really search for different modalities. We're going to go into more detail about the type of healing that she practices and really talk about how you can address energy imbalances and blockages. And then we're going to share a little bit more about how each of us can really tune into our own body and connect to areas of pain and what that might be showing you emotionally and how energy healing can help you. And then finally, at the end, I am really excited. Natalie is going to walk us through two different exercises that we can all do to help release tension and stress. And I do just want to mention, because of the nature of the topics that we will be discussing, that none of this is medical advice and to always talk to your own medical provider. All right. So let's get started with your journey. So let's dive in and just share a little bit about your background, because you've had quite a lot of experience in fitness and nutrition.
Yeah, Jenny. So it's been definitely a journey for me. When I was younger, I did the traveling thing and traveled and saw the world. And then when I got home, I was a bit kind of lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I started going to the gym with my cousin. And then I realized how much fitness, I just loved it. I loved the positive effect it had on my body, how good I felt, how strong I felt. And I decided I wanted to become a personal trainer or a fitness trainer and help other people to do that. So that was kind of the first part of my journey. And then I did that and I had a really successful business with that, but I was really burnt out from the hours and not knowing how to manage my energy with people. And so also from doing fitness, I realized how important nutrition was. So I competed in bodybuilding and I loved nutrition. I loved that learning about that. And so I actually went back to university with my sister and did a nutrition degree, a bachelor degree, to become a nutritionist. But then thought I was going to work making food products in a food science environment, and that was not for me at all. I really didn't enjoy it. I knew within my heart and soul it was not for me. And then I just kind of, with my sister, fell into a teaching position. So, yeah, that's been my journey that led me to all those things. But even with the fitness and even with the nutrition, I'd injured my back and I had this really intense back pain. And, I kind of felt like a bit of a fraud because I'm a personal trainer, I'm really healthy, but then why have I got this back pain? Okay, why is it? It's quite crippling. And so I actually went to an energy healer. I found a kinesiologist, and it was only when I started doing those energy healing sessions, and she was amazing. She brought awareness to, for me, it was to do with feeling unsupported and not trusting, and it would show as back pain. And it was working through those stresses and all this other stuff and releasing that. It actually was like the missing link for me for releasing my back pain and being able to move forward in life.
That's really interesting. So your own pain, your own back pain, kind of led you on a journey to kind of seek alternate types of healing.
100%. I knew something else was going on because the funniest part was I went and saw a sports doctor. I'll never forget, in the city in Melbourne, and she did an MRI and she said to me, "Do you want the good news or the bad news?" And I was like, the good news. She goes, "The good news is your spine," because I thought maybe I had a slip disc.
Mm.
She goes, "The good news is you have perfect spinal alignment, no slip discs." So
Okay.
she goes, "The bad news is it's 100% muscular," which for me was it's 100% emotional.
Mm.
Yeah, so it was very interesting, the journey and how much pain you can be in. Like, it was crippling. I couldn't really, there was a point where I couldn't even lift 5 kilo weights or shopping
Oh, wow.
bags.
Oh, wow. So you intuitively knew then that there was something more, and then that kind of started you to search for something. And so,
Yeah, 100%. I was like, I'm working, I'm strong in the gym. I can still lift, heavy weights, but I've still got this pain. So intuitively, and I eat well, I know that it's something, there's something extra. There's something, I don't know, that's going on that's causing this to happen. It's, I'm doing all the right stuff that we're taught to do health wise, and still there's something. I've got this intense pain. So I knew, I think subconsciously, I was like, there's something alternative going on. There's a reason this back pain isn't going. So I'm going to try and find an alternative method. And so I think I did, at the time, it was a while back now, I did like an internet search, and I found out, I started looking into, I don't know if you know Bessel van der Kolk, The Body Keeps the Score,
no.
that kind. Yeah, so stuff
Okay.
like that. That hasn't been, I don't think that's been around that long, but I started looking at emotions being trapped in the body.
Got it.
And I was, acupuncture is quite a big thing. I don't do acupuncture because I'm very scared of needles. I know, as an energy healer, for me, but I know it's quite funny, the contrast of what we can be. But I knew that I was interested in Eastern philosophy and that emotion stuff. And I just was like, this is something I feel intuitively I need to investigate because I think it's the missing link for me. And it was.
Got it. So then after, I'm assuming then you were able to heal the pain that you were experiencing.
Definitely. So it's been a journey. I had it intense for years and years and years, but it was actually until I went through a lot of life changes. I broke up with my ex-partner and things like that and moved here, that I really actually started healing it all. So I think I could release it, but then it would come back. And it was only when I started listening and going, okay, where am I feeling unsupported? Why am I feeling unsupported? And making other changes in my life, that I actually, now it is healed. I go to the gym. I can lift like 90 kilo deadlifts and things like that,
Wow.
which is, super heavy, which I love. I love
Crazy.
doing that. Yeah, I know it is. But, I remember I went and saw a physio too. And he's like, "I don't think you're ever going to be able to lift heavy again." And I was like, for me, I was like, no, no. So I found a myotherapist / master trainer who is incredible. And he was able to guide me and show me how to release the muscle, to trust. I think that's one of the big things he taught me. He's like, you just need to trust. If you
Right.
do light weights and you build on it and you build on it slowly, you're not going to injure yourself. I'm not going to make you do anything crazy like go from 5 kilos to 100. So it took me about probably 3 years to build up to getting to that heavy weight, but it's possible. And I had to learn. A big part of it for me was trusting. And so it'd be pretty funny, actually. I'd be at the gym lifting a weight, and then I'd energetically release. I could feel that I was going into that feeling unsupported and stressful and not trusting, and I'd release it. And then I'd be able to keep going.
Got it. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, and to have your own personal experience. And then when did you decide then that you wanted to learn more about these different practices to be able to help other people?
Yeah, so I think after seeing my kinesiologist, I'd seen her for a few years and I'd seen the changes and the benefits and how it was just changing. Honestly, it was literally transforming everything in my life, like making more money from my job or having more time or having more energy and health. So after seeing her maybe 3 or 4 years, she actually had she wrote that Zoe practitioner method
Oh,
course.
got it.
So that's when I was like, I actually think I loved her energy healing sessions, how she created a safe space and the techniques she used. So it was after that I decided, yep, I'm going to do her course. About 6 years ago, I studied it, and lots of, practicing on family and friends. And yeah, that's how I kind of came to realize that I wanted to study that, and where I am now.
That's wonderful. It's really just very inspiring and to know that you were so connected to
Thanks.
what you knew, you needed to be doing. And it was almost like there was an even greater reason beyond healing your own pain.
Yeah, 100%. I think, the universe gives you nudges. And for me, it kind of came to a point where I literally, I was in so much pain that I couldn't ignore it anymore. Like I
Hmm.
know, maybe I know other people will go around and will just think that you have to put up with pain and things like that, depending on what it is, but you actually don't. And I put up with it for a long time. I did. I put up with it for years, and it was only until I did the proper energy healing and it started releasing that I was like, oh, you actually don't have to live in pain. So that's really kind. Thanks for that, the inspiration comment.
Yeah.
But I just really love it so much, and I love helping others because I've seen the effect it's had on me, and now sharing it with everyone and and seeing how quick it can
Hmm.
be.
I know. I'm
The
excited to
experience.
share my story.
Yep, yep. I just love that. I love helping others and seeing that how it can help you and raise your vibration and help you to release stress and pain and emotional blockages.
Yeah, it's incredible. So let's actually talk a little bit more about the Zoe kind of practice and what people would experience if they worked with you. So, what types of things would they do?
Sure. So basically, when I do an energy healing session, the first thing we usually do is we have a chat about what's going on in your life and just talk about the current themes. I also would tap into you a bit before the session just to see what's coming up emotionally, because I've been taught to muscle test, and I know I can just basically read the energy, your vibration, the emotions. So we talk about that. I'd be noting down what's going on, and then we'll get to, in the session, the core of the stress. So I will just, because I've just done so much practice and I've done the training, I'm very intuitive, and I use a kinesiology chart to muscle test what
Mhm.
emotion you're feeling. And maybe you're feeling it in a certain part of your body. Maybe you're feeling upper back pain. Maybe you're feeling lower back pain. Maybe, I don't know, it could anything. It depends on the person where they're
Right.
feeling it. Or maybe there's a relationship in your life that's difficult and you're having these constant issues. It just keeps coming up and stressing you out. So basically, once we've addressed that, I would usually muscle test and check for how much stress it's causing you. Okay, so like out of 100, just this is all builds awareness. Awareness, a lot of the time, is a big part of it. So the person understands, oh, it actually
Mhm.
came from your childhood, or it actually came from this. It's quite amazing. It's quite interesting. And then basically, I'll go through whatever energy healing techniques we need to do. It could be I need to balance maybe your meridians are a bit blocked energetically, so I just need to balance them for you. and I can do that remotely.
I was going to ask you because I wanted to make sure that everybody understands that this is not something that you have to be in Australia and in person with
No,
Natalie. She's able to do this remotely from anywhere, and that's
100,
really incredible.
100%. I know that can blow people's mind a bit, but you've just got to think we're all energetic beings down to the smallest particles that we are. We are atoms, we are electrons, so we're vibrational. So because I've been trained in how to basically work with the energy, I can basically tune into your vibration and your energy, and help you to release that. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. I'm able to do that and help you process and basically guide you so that you can relax to let it go. Because as humans, that's the
Right.
biggest thing. We hold on to stuff.
Oh, yeah, totally.
We hold on. We've never been properly taught how to release stress, pain triggers, and it gets stuck in our energy body. Whereas animals, they get stuff stuck, but they're just so good at letting go. They just want to
Mhm.
let go straight away. They're amazing. So basically, yeah, that's how. Because I have been trained and with quantum physics and being able, energy is vibration. I can just release it. So some other things I do in sessions, meridians. I might, if your chakras are imbalanced, I might do that. I might do some grounding. If you've got energetic cords, you can have energetic cords to other people, to yourself, help you to release them, help you to just simply let go. That can just be what it is. Past life stuff. Maybe you need to communicate with angels. Maybe you need an angel called in. All that stuff. That's all different things and whatever comes up.
Right. Oh, yeah, it's also fascinating. And so, because this is a little bit of an alternative modality, how do you address people that might be somewhat skeptical in these types of services? And I can speak a little bit from my own experience because, I consider myself probably like 10-15% still a skeptic, about things and, generally pretty accepting. But I know that, things like this, do seem almost like outer worldly or not possible. So how do you kind of address or kind of speak to people that maybe aren't so sure?
Yeah, so it's a really great thing to chat about because I think you and we've both had a chat about this. We can both understand that can be a bit weird. And I've had so many of my friends say to me, I just don't understand how you do it. And I explain it to them and they still don't get it. And I go, well, what have you got to lose? It's not going to hurt you.
Hmm.
Nothing that we do or that I do is going to hurt you. It's just going to help your energy flow. If you're open and you're willing and you give permission, then we can work on it. And if anything, it's just going to make you feel calmer and balanced and feel better. Okay, so you may as well try it. But I will say for people, if you really do think it's woo woo, and you don't believe in it, then that's actually fine as well. You need to find your own healing or health modality that works. You don't want someone to try and do energy healing that isn't willing. They need to be at a certain level and they need to be willing to let stuff go. And if they're not willing to let stuff go or they don't believe in it, then
Right.
it's not for them. But also, I was telling you before the story about my friend who I had dinner with on last week, and she actually said to me, we were laughing. She goes, "Natty, I have to say, you did a post on pet energy healing," and I thought Natalie's lost it.
Oh,
And I was laughing, and she goes, but then we were on the phone, and she goes, "Oh my cat's acting really weird. She's really tired. She's scared of going upstairs because we had some stuff installed." And I was like, "Can I give her a balance? Are you all right with that?" I said, "She's not." So I gave her a balance. She went over, purring, loving her mum, her fur mama. And then later that night, she went upstairs for the first time in 6 months.
oh, wow.
And so my friend was like, Natty, I was like, and then she goes, but then after that happened, I was like, okay, it works.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's just experiencing something. And so being open to, giving it a try. And like you said, what do you really have to lose? I mean, I can speak personally because we did kind of a mini session together, and I had been experiencing just tension in my neck and shoulders. And, through that session, I have been completely amazed with what I experienced. And, I am so grateful to have had that experience that I'm looking forward to booking like a real full whole session, and, we can work on a bunch of stuff. And so my biggest suggestion would be, yes, you definitely need to have some sense of willingness to try. But if you are open to it and can really shut off, like what I would say is your monkey mind, even in
Mm.
our session as we started, I had that little part of my head that's like, this isn't going to work. How
Yeah.
on earth is she going to take away this? Tension in your shoulders. And then I was kind of like, okay, knock it off, because if this could work, this would be fantastic,
What have you got to
so
lose?
what
Yeah.
do you have to lose? And so even me, who's like totally into all of this stuff, I still, have to kind of get myself into the right mindset. And so it was just an extraordinary experience.
Oh, and that's thank you. That's really nice to get that feedback. And as I said, I love it. I love that I get this feedback from you saying, "Oh my goodness, my back, it's fine." And I'm like, that's the power of energy healing. It really is. It's the missing link. You've probably been trying and going to other health professionals to help you with that, and then you do an energy healing session, and it's like, bam, that was
Yeah, I mean,
actually,
just that visual of like pulling out everything and like releasing it. I mean, and it was a really interesting experience. And like I said, it's been, I don't know how many days has it been now? 5 days or so?
yeah, five
Yeah, I mean,
days.
and every morning I wake up and I'm like, oh,
Still
I
good.
don't have it. I'm like, this is awesome. And so
So good.
it's really incredible. And we are energetic beings. And really, the point of this podcast is to really highlight and share these types of services that maybe people aren't aware of,
Mm,
and they can give it a try, because 5 or 6 years ago, I was not aware of something like this. All I knew of was just regular, chiropractor, physical therapy, all of those types of things, which, can work for some people. But, I had been kind of harboring this in my shoulders and neck for a long time. Hi, buddy.
this is Phil.
We have an extra guest.
Yeah,
Hi,
he loves
Phil.
being he loves being on the
He's
camera.
like, Mama's on a podcast.
Yeah, he's like, Mama's on a podcast and getting a bit jealous of her talking to someone. No, that's okay. He loves
That's
being
so
on film.
funny.
Hopefully, he just
Oh,
sits. He just sits. Yeah, no, it's interesting, isn't it? Like you go through your own journey. You've been through it as well, and then you realize you come to this realization if you start trying those different alternative modalities that they really do work. But it's still also important to do your other stuff that you were
right.
doing, like it's not 100% a replacement for
No.
everything, but it's just like a tool that
In
really can,
addition,
yep,
yeah.
exactly. So
And,
you can have a great life.
it's just fantastic to have all kinds of different tools in the toolbox.
Yeah.
So then we talked a little bit about different types of pain. Like we were kind of talking about neck pain, shoulder pain, back pain, and so forth. And through your experience, do certain types of pain represent certain emotions sometimes, like as you've worked with people?
100%. So with kinesiology, different emotions get trapped in different meridians and different parts of your body. So, like for example, the lower back is a lot of the time I find the lower back is your governing meridian, which is one of the ones that fills up the other meridians. And so, some of the main emotions that are associated with the governing meridian are support, trust, truth. So, you'll find that if someone has back pain, or something like that, it's a stress around feeling supported. It's a stress around trusting. It's a stress around what's the truth of the situation. And a lot of the time, the lower back is financial stress. So I know I've had a friend contact me. She was experiencing crippling back pain. And I said, can I just, like, would you mind? And she goes, I'm willing to try anything. I keep waking up for the last however long. And I said, look, this is what's happened. When you were a child, you saw your parents stressing about money. It stayed in your vibration. It stayed in your lower back. And so did a balance the next day, woke up and I'm like, hey, feeling? She's like, it's gone. What? Like, what? So like that was just her experience and the body just
Right.
trying to say her, it's there to release. Some other main ones, like we were talking about shoulders.
Hmm.
So a lot of the time with the shoulder, it can be someone's shouldering, thinking about if we're in relationships or maybe at work, maybe you're the one shouldering everything. Okay. Maybe you're the one that's taking on, you feel like you are taking on the responsibility. It's also to do with our small and large intestine. So it can be to think about what that does in the physical body,
Hmm.
and that's also to do with the meridian. So, like, are you absorbing what's happening? Do you need to let go? Have you got a problem with, taking in stuff? And also a big one that we chatted about with your neck can be your heart to your
Hmm.
throat. Okay, I think you need to move.
Oh, he's good. He was
No, no, no.
listening to you so
He's listening to me,
intently.
and I'm like, it's all right. He can just sit over there. So your heart, if he comes back, I'll laugh. Your heart and your throat. So often think about what's in your heart. How
Right.
much of us don't 100% say what's in our heart? Okay, it can be the communication maybe is a bit blocked, or there's some feelings there or emotions that we need to, and that can be the next. So, but it can also be just maybe for you, that's where you store, also our jaw. So we
Mm.
clench down, that can be anger and it can be to do with that. So there's so many different reasons.
Right. No, it's just interesting how it is
Yeah,
all connected.
it
And,
is.
logically, how could it not be? It's like we're here experiencing the world in front of us, and, and kind of taking it all in emotionally. It's almost like if you're eating, all this kind of junk food or something, it's like going in your body and it's in there, and
Yep,
maybe you don't get rid of it all, you know? And
100%.
so it's fascinating to me. And I've really enjoyed learning, more about all of this with you.
Awesome.
So, speaking of that, I thought we could do two exercises you had mentioned that we could do today and that everybody at home listening could also do. And it's really to kind of release like stress or tension.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, fantastic.
All
Awesome.
right.
So the first one we'll do is, this is a really good one. Say you're feeling anxiety about the future, or you're thinking about the past, or your monkey mind, as you were saying before.
Hmm.
Maybe you're just overthinking, which we all do when stuff happens. So it's called, you've got your frontal lobes there, and if you hold them, so if
Hmm.
you think like that, so imagine just putting your palm and feeling there. And what I like to do too, I like to put my hand over my stomach.
Hmm.
You don't have to do that. It's up to you. But over the stomach is just, that's where we absorb a lot of stuff and power struggles. So I find that if we just put our hand on our forehead and on over our stomach, that can really help relax you. Now, if you just, it's up to you whether you close your eyes or not, if you feel comfortable to. I usually close my eyes. I take in a nice deep breath, and then I like to do a big out. So sighing like that is also really, that's been scientifically proven to help release stress. And just do breathe in, and then you can just breathe out a bit longer than you breathed in. And we've got the cat back.
Hmm.
And we'll just do another couple of breaths. And so you can do that for as long as you want. And,
Hmm.
that's a really good one if you're at home by yourself, where you can just do that. And you can even do that that's really good for little kids if they're upset, if they're not too
Hmm.
upset, but you can help them. It's okay. If they're like crying, you can help them to
Got it.
relax. And so our frontal lobe in our brain is all to do with like our planning and our decision making. And so forward thinking. So you think
Hmm.
if you've got anxiety, what are you doing? You're thinking about the
Right. So
future.
then you're kind of like,
Yep.
it's
Yep.
okay, Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's a really good, I think that really, I don't know how everyone's been feeling with the eclipses, and I know that's a whole nother kettle of fish, but they can be quite intense, like with your
Right.
sleep and stuff. And so I actually did that in bed last night. Like
Oh,
I couldn't
okay. I
sleep. I
should have
did
done
that.
that. I didn't even I should have remembered.
Well,
I
now
will
you
tonight.
know. Now you
Right.
know.
So
Now
that's
you
really
know.
good. So you can, like, if you wake up and maybe feel anxious, you can just do that hand placement and then three or four, good breaths in and out.
Yep. You could
And
do
just,
even if you had more time, you could do even
yeah.
longer.
Okay.
The sigh too. First of all, sighing everything out. That's really beneficial too for helping you. I don't know if you know Huberman. You know Huberman Lab. He's a scientist and he does all things about stress reduction, and
Got it.
the sighing out actually does even 5 minutes of sighing really good for
Okay.
your health and reducing stress scientifically. So
That's fantastic.
yeah,
All right. So then now, if you are out somewhere in public or like at work in a meeting and you don't feel comfortable kind of putting your hand over your head, you would mention there's another
sure.
exercise. Okay.
Yeah, so it's exactly as you said. I actually had a friend say to me, I was like, "This is the one that you can do." She goes, "What if I'm in a meeting though?" And I can't obviously be doing that on camera. People would be looking at me going, "What are you doing?" So you can literally just imagine. You don't even have to shut your eyes. If you want to ground yourself, if you're feeling a little bit like you're maybe lightheaded, anxious out of your body, because maybe a lot's going on with your life, whatever. You can imagine what I just do is above from the heavens or the clouds, I imagine a big white light coming through my head, my crown, and it's going through my entire body. Okay, this big white light, it goes all the way down, and then it's going to go into the ground. Okay, it goes into the ground, goes through the layers of the earth, and then it's going to go all the way to the core of the earth. And then you can just imagine like that white, maybe it's like a cord and it attaches to the center of the earth. A lot of the time, people like to do a crystal.
Mhm.
Okay, do that, attach to the crystal, and then just imagine that energy coming back up and it goes back the way it came, up through your legs, up through, and all the way up into the heavens. And that's a really good way of basically connecting you, like, and grounding you in the center
Mhm.
and attaching you to earth.
Nice. Wonderful. Well, I appreciate you sharing both of those. So now they can kind of or rewind back and listen on the
Yep, my
podcast
pleasure.
if they want to do that.
Yep,
So I really appreciate that. So I want to switch gears just a little bit and kind of talk about the business aspect of things.
sure.
And so, how does this really feel for you to be doing work that you are aligned with?
Yeah, for me, it's been a long time coming to get here because I have to be honest. I've probably been quite scared to put myself out there because it is an alternative healing, energy healing business. And as we were talking about before, people might think it's woo woo. But I have to say, from actually doing it and putting myself out there, I love it. I feel like I'm my authentic true self now. I feel like I'm showing all parts of myself. I feel like I'm reaching more people and I'm able to help more people,
Mhm.
which is amazing. Like I just feel so lucky and blessed that I can help people, that I can, I helped you with your back, that I can help
Mhm.
other people. Because my mission is to raise the vibration of the planet. So if we release blocks and energy and things like that, it does help us raise higher. So we'll have more positive experiences. So yeah, for me, I think it really just is. It's very authentic, and I've never felt happier than actually putting myself out there with this and being able to help others.
Well, I can feel it. It's really a beautiful
Thanks.
thing. And so when you are able to help someone, you talked a little bit about it just now, but I mean, that feeling just must be extraordinary.
It's amazing. Especially like it's horrible seeing people in pain,
Right.
struggling, stressed. You see your family, your friends, but also, anyone in general that is
Mhm.
struggling about something or they're in crippling pain. And if I can do something to help reduce that and actually allow them to live their life and to be happier and to actually, move and do whatever they like to do, if that's walking or playing with their kids or whatever else, that to me, that's the best feeling. If I can actually help that person to feel better,
That's
it's nothing
beautiful.
better. Yeah,
That, yeah. So let's make sure that everybody knows how to get in contact with you. So, what's the best way to reach you?
fantastic. So the best way is through my website. which is, I know you're sharing that, which is
Yep.
natalietaylorenergyhealing.com.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you go there, it'll have contact. You can press buttons to contact. I've also got my email is
Okay.
natalietaylor@gmail.com. And my Instagram account is also Natalie Taylor Energy Healing on
Awesome.
Instagram.
And you share a lot of really insightful things on your Instagram. So I definitely recommend people to go follow Natalie so that you can see, a little
Please.
bit more about the types of work that she does. So it has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. And like I said, I am so excited to share these types of businesses because it's really important to give people that awareness of what's possible. And so I really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you so much, Jenny. It's been really an honour for me to be. Thank you on your podcast. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very grateful and feel very lucky to be on this. So thank you for having me and for letting me share a bit about what I do.
Oh, you're very welcome. And I look forward to following your journey and having you on again sometime in the future.
I would love to do that.
Awesome. Well, I just want to thank everyone for listening today, and I hope that you have gained some insight, some information, and are maybe even inspired. And so until the next episode, I wish you all much peace, joy, and love as you pursue being soul aligned. Thank you.